doing is we are shifting the substratum dimensional reality of being a human. That's how we create New Earth. New Earth is already here. It's divinization of the human experience and the humanization of the divine experience. And so it's so beautiful in all directions. In Shakti, I am a conscious trance channel for the Angelic Realm in support of the evolution of consciousness into New Earth, and I have been receiving these messages for New Earth since the late 1990s. And yeah, so that's what we do here on this channel, is that we help people grow in the way, like the evolution that is the New Earth evolution. And this is a beautiful segue, because this is what the Angelic Realm wanted to talk to us about, because you've probably noticed things are heating up on inner and outer levels. And you know, what we can really do something about is on the inside, and we do know that what we do on the inside affects what takes place on the outside. First of all, let's understand what we're going through, because there's so many interpretations of it, and so many, you know, people, they come in at a particular level, a particular point of understanding, and then it becomes that, and there's other points and other points. Well, the Angelic Realm, their point, and I happen to agree with it 100%, because it's proven itself to be true to me over these past 25 years, is that we are in an experience of the evolution of consciousness out of, I won't even get into the yugas and things like that, but we will do another podcast on that. But out of a time of karma where, you know, it meant that it was spinning around in cycles, and it felt faded and deaded, and all of these kinds of things that felt quite limited and oppressive in their nature. We are shifting. What we need to do to shift our dimension, because what we're doing is we are shifting the substratum dimensional reality of being a human. And that's why there's been so many different lineages that have said, okay, we're not going to actually be human in that old way anymore. And they have all sorts of different names for it. The Angelic Realm called it the heaven and earth being. There's always some kind of combination of that. I've heard Homo Spiritus, and I've heard a few more, but I just can't remember them right now. But it's always some kind of combination of the divinization of the human experience and the humanization of the divine experience. And so it's so beautiful in all directions. So as we shift our foundation, which means basically that we will be shifting dimensional realities, the thing that we do to make that take place is that we release our identities from limited karmic patterns. Every human being has the whole cosmic reality in every cell of their body. Every human being, no matter what, is completely one with the great one of the one. It's birthed from it. But the level of consciousness around it is the thing that differentiates the state of mind and the state of happiness and health, etc. Every human being at this time has karmic patternings related to the old paradigm that are now not needed from where we're going, and they're in a process of churning, you know, to transform them, to evolve them. But the thing that is tricky about it is that for most people, they don't see them as a pattern. They see them as, oh, that's just the way that I feel, or that's a reality, that's my genetics, that's, you know, my grandmother was like that. There's all these stories that have been created through this denser time to validify and to hold into place really something that is very malleable. It's an experience that's stored in the cellular frequency of the body. It's an experience. Comes and it goes. But we were conditioned to hold on to it out of survival programming. So none of it is who we are. It's just experiences that we've had. But when we retain it in the body, then it starts to feel like that's who we are, because our body is vibrating in those stories. Making sense? So now what we're doing is unwinding our identity from the stories, but it can feel like, oh, you're just going through such difficult things, or, oh, I can't overcome that. Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, that's just how I've always been, and my mother was like that, and my grandmother was like that, la, 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 la. You know, and the thing is, through the genetics as well, you're going to birth yourself into families where there are joint karmic patterns. So it's true that they were like that. But it's not actually that genetic process that we're talking about. We're talking about the spiritual evolution of the soul. So what we're doing is learning how to identify the karmic patterns and then learning how to transform them. That's how we create New Earth. New Earth is already here. It's already in us. It's a state of consciousness. And that state of consciousness will, of course, create a new outside. It's just so beautiful. And so what the Angelic Realm wants me to speak about today is this kind of understanding of what we're actually doing, because a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people, it's a very high level, you know, understanding of spirituality, to not have ownership of that which you've experienced. And in the old paradigm, this kind of deeper work, especially with what the Angelic Realm specialize in, which is called the core soul story. So you go into the deepest pattern, the seed, because it's in all of the ancient scripts, and it still is true. There's a seed. And if you can find the seed, and you can release your identity with the seed, it was called, like, if you can toast the seed, if you can toast that seed, it will not grow any more stories. You are free. You are liberated to be fully in your new earth self, which then has its new type of evolution of consciousness. So to start to understand things like the core soul story, and I'll do another podcast just about that so you can start to get this idea, because it is one of the most liberating looks at karma you can ever have. Because if you can get the seed, and if you can toast that seed, which means release your identity with it, there's nothing else that's going to grow from there. You're in New Earth. So the thing about these shiftings that take place with the karmic patterns is that they go in two different ways. One of them is by choice, when we start to really recognize, like, oh, that's a really repetitive, limited experience, and I do not believe that it's who I am anymore, and I'm ready to clear that. I'm ready to let it go. That's called choice. So then we choose to let it go, and we might do that in a million different ways. We might just actually choose. It's possible to make that power of choice and shift the whole quantum reality. We might use breath works, we might use meditation, we might use yoga, we might use so many things, right? But we're making a choice to do it. The other is, and this is something that everybody's experiencing in some way or another, and some people to greater degrees, it's called a shaking. And we're going to have both. Everybody will have both. Everybody will have moments where they have choice and moments where there's shakings. And for the things like the core soul story, which is like the deepest, deepest, deepest pattern, that's why it gives the best results if you can actually release from it. It'll go through a series of choice and a series of shakings, because it's so conditioned to try to hold on. So when something starts to get shaken in us, it's being shaken so that it brings it to consciousness for us. So shaking often is an uncomfortable experience. It's an uncomfortable life experience. Maybe you get sick, maybe something that you really didn't want to happen happens, like whatever. It's something that's uncomfortable, and in that discomfort we start to wake up and start to be able to then make the choice that we need to clear the patterning. And so the Angelic Realm have sent a transmission for us today that is all about us remembering who we really are, because the releasing or the choices, or through the shakings of the evolution of consciousness, one of the best ways to change is by remembering who we really are and realizing that that limited state that we've been identified with is actually not who we are. And then it's really, really easy to let go of, or at least easier to let go of. When we believe that it's us, well, that's hard. It's like, even if it's kind of a, really limited part of yourself, you're throwing yourself away. It's really hard on the ego structure. When you recognize that, oh, you've misunderstood who you are because of all of the cycles of time, because of, everything that's a whole other conversation about why that has happened at this time. I'll do that in another podcast. But anyways, because of cycles of time, we have forgotten who we are. And when we remember who we are, well, then we don't need to wear the old costumes anymore. It's like, oh, when you change, when you even have just like changes in personality, and all of a sudden, like none of your clothes feel right anymore. Have you ever had that experience? Like, I can't wear those things anymore. It's because you've outgrown that costume. And we're doing this on karmic, psychic, spiritual levels. This is what we're doing when we're evolving the consciousness and out of the old limited patterns. So here we go. Let's listen to this transmission. It's so beautiful and so nourishing. Take a few deep breaths. And start to, as you breathe in deeply, to feel that the cells are vibrating like this welcoming what is new about yourself, welcoming what is remembering yourself. You can close your eyes if you like, whatever you like. Beloved children of the light, you are the sacred poem. You are constructed by syllables and sounds of cosmic truths, of realities that are so rare and so wonderful, they can only be peeked at in the reflection of the most sacred, the most sublime, the most heart-lifting poem of love. Beloved children of the light, give yourself the honor and the love to remember who you are. It is not as difficult as you might think. For if you truly contemplate the unfathomable magic of reality, you, being an aspect of the sacred poem, will appear quite natural. And from that place of being naturally established, the wonders of the heart, the rivers of love, the blessings of the sanctity will become doorways to the untold magnificence of you. Take a few deep breaths again, inviting the vibration of the remembering of who you are deep into the cells. Because these things that we are not are actually cellular imprints, where we've collected them. It's like we thought we needed this little toolkit. We thought it was part of our survival. And in the old paradigm it was. So now we're breathing into those cells, we're transforming them, we're getting new tools, we're going into a new reality. And now I think I just want to talk about a few of these lines and go a little bit deeper. Before we do that, hold the hands in front of the heart in the sacred heart gesture. It's the hands are open and the palms face the chest. And this will activate the sacred heart center, which is the connection to the infinite heart in all beingness. You might feel energy in your hands or between your chest and your hands. Stay there with awareness. You're in a process of reconstructing on a cellular level. If you like, you can keep your hands there, or you can release them down as I just want to talk a little bit more about some of these lines. They're so beautiful. So first of all, you are the sacred poem, beloved children of the light. You are constructed by syllables and sounds of cosmic truths. That's what we are. Syllables and sounds of cosmic truth. We know, in the beginning was the word was this God, this idea that it is sound that brings form. And we're constructed. We might think it's bones and ligaments and blood and muscles. It's syllables and sounds of cosmic truth. That's what we're made of. If we can start just there, reminding ourselves that daily, it changes the whole playing field. We're constructed of realities that are so rare and so wonderful. They can only be peeked at in the reflections of the most sacred, the most sublime, and the most heart-lifting poem of love. So in the most sacred experience of love, that's only a tiny peek at the magnificence of who we are. We're so rare and so wonderful. Beloved children of the light, give yourself the honor and the love to remember who you are. It is a path of remembering. And we think of the word remembering as remembering. It's like putting your members, your limbs back on. This is an embodiment path that we're in. We're not going out somewhere into some wacky realm. We're bringing it all right here, right now. This is what we're doing with New Earth. It's not as difficult as you might think. And this was so beautiful when I was receiving this. They said, for if you truly contemplate the unfathomable magic of reality, and they showed me just like a tidbit of, the incredibleness just of Earth. If you just actually take a moment to contemplate on it, then the fact that you are an aspect of the sacred poem, well, of course you are. You have to be. You're part of this. It's completely natural. So when we just actually look at what is, if we just actually let ourselves receive what is, come out of our limited consciousness that makes us miss these incredible experiences of reality that already exist, then it's just naturally that we are something extraordinary because we are here and part of it. And from that place of being naturally established, it's a beautiful idea, like naturally established, just actually connecting to what is real, what is natural about us, then the wonders of the heart, the rivers of love, the blessings of sanctity will all become the doorways to the untold magnificence of you. So these words, this sentiment they gave to us today to assist us in the choice, to be able to choose. Because if we can remember who we are, it is so much easier for us to choose ourselves out of limitation and not have to go through the really, uncomfortable shakings. They happen, but they don't have to happen. So this kind of remembering makes it easier and easier to choose. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really appreciate it. And yes, personal sessions with the Angelic Realm are available, and personal, experiences. It's more than one session of finding out what that core soul story seed is, and then the process of toasting it, being assisted by the Angelic Realm to do that as well. So much love. I'll leave the website below.